we are clicking the go live button. Right now, we're ready to start. So, ready to start, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Box Mining here, man. Boy, it's been a crazy few days. I was like starting to stream this morning. I looked at my hair and I was like, ugh. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, a lot of people, include me included, are definitely not getting much sleep right now. The markets are just exploding, and yeah, it's a fantastic time. There's so much opportunity right now at this point. It's crazy. I mean, this is the middle of the action, right? The bleeding edge of everything that's happening. I mean, if you regret not being in the .com boom or the app boom, this is the opportunity that only happens every 10 years. This is a big leap forward. And yeah, we're going to see financial systems change drastically over the past few years, next few years, because of crypto. And the markets are reflecting this. So yeah, the markets have moved up greatly since the last time we met. Oh wow, oops, the Brave browser is not showing up right now, but yeah, let's do that. All right, that makes sense. And let's just do a little refresh to see what's happening. We have Bitcoin at $46,000. I mean, it broke through the $42,000 resistance that we had. It just like surged past that. We have this crazy insanity moment that was going on in the past 7 days. It's up like 30%. We got Ethereum up 5% at $1,800. Yeah, Cardano almost moving up to $1. It's been, it's crazy to say at least. Binance Coin above 100. I mean, the surge in the past day was just enough to make me crazy, right? Because you guys probably know that Binance Coin is one of my medium bags, one of the coins that I was holding, the more speculative coin that I was holding. I acquired it at $18. I told you guys about it in my medium bags video. What bags was I holding? And Binance Coin was there, and boy, it's from 18 to 140 $14 right now. That's a crazy ride. That is a crazy ride. So I'm definitely experiencing those emotional highs, and obviously very aware of that too, right? So being in crypto, I think that's something I learned from the last bull run is you just control the amount of euphoria, because you got to make the logical decisions. And that's what I'm saying to myself every single day. So I'm like a party pooper for myself. Like every time I'm like celebrating, bring out the champagne, pop those corks out. Let's celebrate. No. Be logical, be reasonable, be smart here. Uh, that's what I tell myself, because at the end of the day, right, I want to maximize the amount of gains I get at this time. It's definitely a time not to make irrational decisions. It's about time to strategically plan out. And there's gonna be times when numbers go down, right? I was, speaking of that as well, I was talking to you guys on Monday that I was a little bit fearful on Sunday that the numbers would go down because of Chinese New Year that's popping up. But obviously, as we got closer and closer to Chinese New Year, which is coming on this Friday, which is in 2 days actually, the closer we got to it, the less fear there was, because the dump usually happens before that. And with the dump not happening, we have the fear of missing out coming in, which is why just before the stream on Monday, I was saying to you guys, I was closing down all the short positions I had, whatever. I was just making sure that I was not shorting during a market like this, and that was a great choice. And I think a lot of people were asking me, why short rather than sell, right? I already have crypto, why short? A lot of times it's because if you short, you get the bonus funding rates on FTX as well. That's the only reason. Anyways, that goes into a lot too much detail. But anyways, if you guys want to know what funding rates are, how the perpetual futures market plays and everything, how to make higher IQ trades, definitely check out the new coming videos on Box Mining, the members only section. We explain quite a lot about the recent video on that. Let me just make sure that there's on the members only side. So funding rates, this is like 2 videos here that kind of explain what's happening with funding rates and how to kind of make money off funding rates, and how they kind of work in a lot of detail. Obviously, stuff like this, the reason why I do it with a smaller group is because it's very, very detailed content and it's not for everyone. But at the same time, it's important to know what funding rates are. So anyways, regardless, we're going to feature that more on this channel as well. So, all right, let's talk about what today's stream is going to be about. Today, it is just a general chat up. It's a Wednesday stream. Normally, I don't do streams on Wednesdays, but I felt like it's it's about time we talk a little bit more. I think it's two streams during a market like this is not just not gonna cut it, right? You're gonna miss on a half of everything. So we're gonna increase the number of streams, and we're gonna try to also make the streams shorter as well. Last time during the last stream on Monday, the live stream during the catch up during that time, a lot of people actually appreciated a slightly shorter format of around half an hour to 40 minutes. So it's just more tight, Anyways, that's going to be today's episode. We're also going to feature a little bit of innovation zone. A lot of people requested that I talk about Binance Smart Chain. It's pretty much where all the farming action is now. I mean, the farming is back again. And cake, guys, I was farming cake since it was like 40 cents, and now it's like at $6. So right, it's like my mind is blown. Like just looking and analyzing how much exposure I have to these positions. I mean, the amount of exposure I have just greatly increased, right? The amount of coins just like, because the amount of coins is the same, the value of those coins 10x, right? So definitely by my smirky smile on my face, you can definitely tell I was having a great time for a while. And yeah, we'll talk about what's happening on the farming front. I think there's a lot of opportunities here as well. So yeah, we'll talk about that today, and we'll talk about suggestions and everything else coming in. And I'll definitely appreciate any feedback as well we have for this. So let's get started. Let's get, smash out the likes too. All right. So as with normal, let's go very quickly on the markets, and we usually take a look at the majors and what the big, the big market movers are doing. Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll take a look at everything here. So very quickly, just a rundown of what's happening. So on Bitcoin front, we just broke past that resistance that we were having. So throughout the month of January, we were constantly trying to push up to 40K, right? So you can see here that every time Bitcoin pushed to $40,000, it got rejected, right? So there was a very clear rejection here at around 41K on the 8th of January. That was when all the hype was going on, when we're talking about Michael Saylor still, about institutional investors, and the post-holiday hype, right? But we got rejected off 42,000. And yet again, we also see a little bit of that happening on the 15th of January, and then another attempt on towards the end of January on the 30th. It's only this week, so it was really on the 8th of February that we just broke past it. So we kind of just like smashed past, and you can definitely see the bulls really putting up a fight here, right? Because for a few hours, there was some signs of a rejection. All right. So the bears tried to swipe down, push down the prices, but not going to have any of that. And this is largely due to Elon Musk, right? So if you guys saw what was happening on the news, he was not only tweeting about Dogecoin, but he also bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin, just bam, straight from the coffers of Tesla. So that really just sent the markets just like FOMOing into Bitcoin, fear of missing out. And there was two things that was really discussed in the article leaked in his filings, right? First of all, he's just directly buying $1.5 billion. And we pretty much all saw that coming, right? To be honest, he was directly asking about, how do I even buy $1.5 billion of Bitcoin? Would that drastically affect the market price? Was there enough liquidity? He was saying that around 3 months ago. And then people hooked him up. Obviously, they knew people who understood the markets hooked him up. $1.5 billion actually doesn't drastically affect the price that much. It's rather the news of that which affects the price, because right now crypto markets are highly liquid. So with that down, he put $1.5 billion directly into Tesla's balance sheets. That's kind of crazy, right? If you think about it. So yeah, that was the article for this. A lot of people were just like wondering, what's the point of this, right? And how did the shareholders even agree to this, right? It's kind of funny because I was talking about this to a lot of friends, and they knew this was happening, but they were surprised that the board of Tesla did not put up a fight like this. I mean, what's the strategic value here? Like, it's puzzling, but at the same time, Elon, right? He's at the forefront of everything. He knows what's up, right? And last time, on Monday, we featured a clip where he was interviewed and said, yeah, He's pretty confident that the future of currency is going to be cryptocurrency. Just a matter of which one. So he's definitely putting his money where his mouth is in buying this huge amount of Bitcoin for Tesla. So $1.5 billion. Now, why is this big news? Why does this really matter and impact the market in such a long term? And why this is such bullish news? I think a lot of people are like, if you just regard the event, sure, Tesla's $1.5 billion buying into. Let me try something cool. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Does this work for you guys? Anyways, I'm just testing this angle. You guys probably see this, but um, tell me if this angle works. All right. I can't read the chat right there, but it should work somehow. But anyways, why this really matters a lot is because people are wondering what's the next company, right? I mean, if you actually think about it, whilst the article's right that it's baffling that people would buy Bitcoin like this, but think about it. How much US dollar was printed last year, right? 20% plus off the circulating supply of US dollars were printed. So if a company holds a lot of USD, that's a deflationary currency, right? You're gonna wait. That's not no. That's gonna deflate in value. It's an inflationary currency. All right, let's put the terms right there. But you're gonna lose value, right? That's the scary part about holding fiat right now, and why there's so much urgency to invest is because the U.S. dollar is being printed so aggressively. If you're holding U.S. dollars, you should be worried, right? Like, it doesn't make any logical sense whether you want to go in gold or Bitcoin. That's up to you, but regardless of what, you shouldn't be holding shitty fiat, right? And this is a discussion that we have with my friends. Like, typically for us, we just need to have enough fiat to get by, and then the rest should be in assets that don't depreciate aggressively over time. So it does make sense in Tesla's front, and I think the bigger question now is which other companies are going to follow suit. I mean, think about it. Apple can follow suit. I mean, potentially. They have billions of dollars in their coffers. Why not, right? And this is why it kind of opens the floodgates to a lot of bullish action this year. I think like now there's two kind of major thought changers that came throughout last year that we kind of like take for granted. First and foremost, it's actually much more kosher to talk about Bitcoin. We mentioned this last year too, with all these big funds with like Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, going into cryptocurrencies and making it viable to talk about them. They now became the leaders, right? Because they acquired Bitcoin very early on during the bear run, the bear season, the winter. So they acquired Bitcoin 4,000, 5,000. Now that Bitcoin is at 40,000 or $40,000, they're very well off. They're going to be not only making Bitcoin very kosher to talk about, but they're like the top performers, right? If you acquire Bitcoin at 8,000 or 3,000 and you made a 10x gain off that, you're going to turn some heads in Wall Street. And that's kind of what was happening last year. The stigma around Bitcoin has drastically decreased. I feel like, nowadays there's just not that much heat going on. All right. Like, you kind of see the articles, like news articles, they still kind of bring up the FUD, Bitcoin has no value. But that doesn't get much weight anymore. You kind of see that on most market fronts that's happening. And now Elon made it kosher for companies to hold it. Elon, Tesla is kind of at the forefront of innovation. And what Tesla really showed, right, with the value of Tesla also going up exponentially is that if you take risks, you will be greatly rewarded. I think that's very, very clear with how Tesla is going and how it works, is that they took a lot of risks with the design of their vehicles, with their manufacturing, with kind of how they have like software updates. They made cars in a tech product, right? That was innovative and that paid off. And now going into Bitcoin also is very innovative and that's paying off. And I feel like that's kind of the value here. Like, it's very clear that Elon knows what's going on, and also very clear that there's more to Bitcoin than just a currency. I feel like this is kind of where the innovation zone comes in, but we'll talk about that next. Anyways, going on to the Ethereum front of things. So we have Ethereum. Also, it's at a very interesting point right now, right? Because last time, so on the 5th of February, we saw some resistance at $1,800, right? That was where I drew my resistance line to say, okay, look, how fast can this market go? But right now we just passed that. So shooting past that, this actually gives it makes Ethereum enter a very interesting zone. We'll have to see if if there's going to be a rejection out here. That's still possible. You can see that we tried to rally to $1,820 and then it got kind of pushed back, and we'll kind of try again. But this is a situation where Ethereum can also take off on an immense rally. So yet again, it was a situation where I'm very glad that initially I was like, oh, let me cash out a little bit for Chinese New Year just because of the uncertainty. But as we grow closer and closer, I definitely do not want to hold any shorts at this time. It's going to be wrecked very, very soon. So pretty much that. Now, on top of things, right, we have Binance Coin just moving up, mooning like crazy. It's pretty abundantly clear right now that Binance is there's two kind of reasons for this. One is because of new signups on Binance Coin. So we're kind of analyzing this, right? I was discussing this with a lot of friends, like why is it mooning so hard, right? I mean, on January 29th, it was only at $40 something. Now it's past 100, right? What's the reason for that? And it can really be boiled down to two reasons. One is new signups. I mean, Binance being one of the largest exchanges out there, they have a lot of new signups going in, and you can definitely see that. So if you guys don't have a Binance account, get one now. Like, this is strategic, value, right? Like, not even showing my affiliate code. There is an affiliate code down there if you guys are interested in that. There's affiliate code for both Binance and FTX. And I'm not even gonna like talk about the other lesser exchanges. Like these top two exchanges are the ones that you want to have access to. All right, regardless. So if you don't have one now, if you guys are watching this and you don't have one, just for your own sake, just register. You don't have to put money in there. The reason why I'm saying this is because once it really starts going, one thing that we've been noticing that during last crypto boom explosion was that when you need to use those exchanges and you need to do your KYC, you need to do registration and all that stuff, it's too late. It's too late. You're gonna be left in the dust, right? So getting exchange accounts both on Binance and FTX and getting KYC, because KYC can take up to 3 to 2 weeks right now, depending on which exchange. Probably not 2 weeks. Probably like I heard like 3 days and potentially longer, but. Yeah, why you need to do KYC is because of those withdrawal limits. If you need to withdraw more than 2 Bitcoin, you need to do your KYC. So just to keep that in mind, right? Like I've KYC on every single exchange, and during the last bull market, I remember Binance accounts, just registered accounts, not even KYC accounts. Binance accounts were going for around $2,000 a pop. This was when Binance had to close registrations because of the influx of new users. It was just going crazy, right? People were registering like crazy. They couldn't keep up. They closed down registrations, and then people who didn't have an account were just freaking out and buying accounts off the market for like $2,000. I'm like, my mind was blown, right? So make sure you get your exchange accounts in order if you guys want to trade anything. On top of that, I will throw BitMax into the mix as well. BitMax, I would say, yeah, BitMax, maybe the OK or Huobi if you're in that jurisdiction. Just register now. Like you will not regret this. You will not regret this. Like it's all about having options. You don't even need to put money into it. Just register right now, because if shit hits the fan, you are ready. All right. So, yeah. Wooden Elements as well. Apple announced a BTC investment. That could be on the line, right? I think this is kind of like a situation where, we were all talking about this earlier, right? Where it's going to be irresponsible for companies not to invest in Bitcoin in the future. I think that's kind of the crazy part of everything going here. So it might be a matter of time. I think Apple's board of directors will not be as easy to convince as Tesla's board of directors are, but crazy. Hasanfa Jace, funding rates are high. ATM could lead towards a dump. That's actually a very interesting thing. We'll actually look at that in a sec. But anyways, definitely register for exchanges if you haven't, and obviously use the affiliate code if you haven't done that already. All right, cool. So that's happening right now. So Binance registration, and also the other reason why Binance is moving so much is because of their new projects listing on their Launchpad. So now they're doing a new format for Launchpad. Let me just go to, where is Launchpad? Binance is so full of features now that I can't Okay, Launchpad, right? So SafePal is coming up. But now what they're doing is they're doing a time-weighted average. So instead of getting tickets, they have a subscription period, which okay, so that was the one that was done. So during that period from the 2nd to the 8th, what was happening was that they were taking up a total amount, right? Oh damn, I kind of realized I missed this. I knew this was happening, I just didn't click the button. Anyways, my personal note. Anyways, good. Moving on. That was kind of the reason why the prices were pushed up because people needed to have more and more BNB holdings to get into SafePal and future projects coming up. Actually, yeah, okay. And then there's just Binance staking pool. So more use cases. And on top of that as well, there's also Binance Smart Chain, which is gaining a lot of popularity right now. Like Binance Smart Chain products like Cake. So if you know, PancakeSwap is one of their big decentralized DEX exchanges, automated market making exchanges running on Binance Smart Chain. Pretty much right now, like, you can do your exchanges. So let's say you want to exchange from BNB to Alpha or BNB to USDC, you can do it with minimal price impact, right? So it's one of the most convenient ways to do it. And you can trade for a lot of other currencies as well that's not listed on Binance. And the other, if you actually look at Cake and how it surged, of course. So I was farming Cake. You know, I've been telling you guys I've been farming Cake for months now. And it was one of the only products that I had that I was okay with impermanent loss. So I was farming this pool here. So pools, on PancakeSwap, I was in this one, the Cake pool, which had 144 APY. So you put your, actually no, it's not this one. I lied. That is incorrect. Initially, I was farming this one. So this was from a long time ago at Cake BNB, and you get around 169%. And then I realized with the price of Cake surging, right? So this is something that's happening over the past 90 days. It went from like 30 cents, all right? That's when I kind of entered. 30 to 50 cents was when I entered, and then that was when I was farming because I kind of felt that it bottomed out at around 24 cents and then moved up a bit, and then I started farming and then just watching this thing explode to $6, right? This is just insanity. I'm like, I'm through the roof right now. And towards around $1, this is when I withdrew this liquidity pool because I knew that Cake's prices were exploding. So I was taking impermanent loss when the price of Cake was going up. And then I converted that to the pools there. So I just started just like farming it directly. That was kind of how my strategy worked out. And it's just freaking insane. It's insane. And it's kind of funny, like I said, with all this stuff earlier, Binance played it pretty much perfectly in this market. They had a very simple token like the BNB, and the BNB is both for exchange use case and for their own smart chain use case. I think that was a very, very good play on their front. And it was very funny watching this, right? Because the other Chinese exchange would be OKX, which CZ, CEO of Binance, used to work at. He was a former employee there. There's a rivalry between OKX and Binance, right? And I was in the Binance, I'm not the Binance, I was in both. I was in the Binance Clubhouse chat and also the OKX Clubhouse. And OKX Clubhouse chat they just got slaughtered, right? Because they not only have two tokens, so there's OKT, OKChain, which is kind of almost like Binance Smart Chain in terms of ideology, but it's a separate coin. It's not even their exchange coin. It's not the same as OKB, and people got so angry and salty. And I think this is where kind of market positioning matters. It just taught me a lot, right? Just comparing, contrasting that, it taught me a lot. Binance had a focus coin, right? BNB is for their exchange and for their ecosystem and for everything, right? So you use the same thing and everything gives value to one coin, right? And then OK just used two coins. They created two. They got greedy because they can raise again, sell another coin. But by separating out that ecosystem, it caused a lot of confusion. And yeah, that was pretty much that. So anyways, that's the entire market moving up right now. And, if you guys are interested, now is definitely a crazy time, I would say. Like looking at this, people are asking me, what am I doing this time? So I did sell some Cake at around $3 and around $5. So de-risking around 10%. That made sense for me at that time just to kind of cash out a little bit. But at the same time, I think right now the HODL strategy also works because, I didn't sell it completely. I didn't liquidate my entire position. it's not necessary. Off chance as well, since today we're talking about a little bit about innovation zone as well. I'll talk about two of the other Binance Smart Chain projects. Which one was introduced? I think this was by Peak.finance. So on my channel, one of our community members, and what he introduced was Pancake Bunny. So if you're in Pancake, you can farm with Pancake Bunny. Obviously, this is a lot higher risk. Okay, so just guys be very very careful about something like this. But what happens with Pancake Bunny is that you're allowed to. It auto compounds your cake, which is something that I recently got into. So let me just get that. So okay, so what it does is it takes your cake, so which is the one here, which you're getting 144% on, and it auto compounds it. So what happens is that every time, like, it just automatically compounds your cake, and then you also earn bunny on the side as well. So I got into this pool, so I kind of migrated. So this was around a week ago. I kind of migrated my cake pool to the pancake bunny pool, which auto compounds it. So that was kind of crazy. It's a little bit risky because you're locked in fees for 3 days, and also because you're exposing yourselves to pretty much potentially unaudited smart contracts. But I guess this is like I said, I may do a warning beforehand. A lot of the episode today will cover very, very experimental stuff. It might blow up in your face. That happens. And the reason why I'm taking also this risk to talk about this is, one, because of requests, and second, because it's all where all the innovation is. So the way I see Pancake Bunny is because it kind of auto compounds that cake to earn more. You get more APY, right? So you get around 600% APY, and you get your bunny on the side, and bunny prices are going up. So I guess, that's the magic of it, right? Bunny token, Pancake Bunny just went up like crazy. Like when I started farming, it was like $10, and now it's like at what, 40? Everything is just exploding. But this is when you have to be also very careful as well, to be honest, with Binance Smart Chain. The other one is Beefy. So if you guys are in Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, Beefy.finance is also a yield optimizer for Binance Smart Chain, where you can kind of optimize your gains with this. I haven't started using this yet. In fact, the kind of funny thing is I actually used Beefy at the start, and then I went out of Beefy and into Cake. But now Beefy is kind of popping again. So anyways, that's the market for you. And that's the fun part of crypto farming and mining. So that's one of the mining aspects I'm doing. So Binance Smart Chain just really took off. I'm ecstatic about it. Pretty darn awesome, to be honest. But that's the magic of it, right? So that kind of explains the market overall right now. It's kind of insane. So altcoin season, is this altcoin season? Starting to be. I mean, I've seen more insane times for altcoin season, but everything is moving up today. Just going back to the markets as well. We have like Chainlink moving almost up at $30. You got Elrond with the insane 200% this week. It's at $204. I still remember when people freaked out about this e-gold thing, right? When Elrond transitioned to e-gold, and because of the coin combined. But it works right now. It's pretty insane. This whole market is just insane. Avalanche was pretty much up 200% this week too. So pretty much every day I'm at this point where I'm just looking at numbers, and numbers just keep going up. Matic is also having a swell time with their rebranding. So they're rebranding recently, and I was going through the material, and I definitely want to pay more attention to Matic as well on that front. So so pretty much past 24 hours has been just absolute insane. I mean, SafePower launched. I completely missed out on that. That was my bad, to be honest. I had BNB, and I should have staked it, but anyways, whatever. Stuff happens. And then we have also last 7 days as well. Venus is just going crazy. Venus is also another Binance project that's doing algo stable coins, and it is insane. And then we got Mr. Blunt, honestly, asked any thoughts on Swissborg. So Swissborg is another 10x for me. So I'm through the roof from this one. I'm still holding on to this because, like I said, one of the reasons why I got into Swissborg was because they're doing entry points in very based in Europe. I mean, the Swissborg aspect. They're very professional. They're getting the app, and they can allow people to directly purchase crypto in available regions, including Hong Kong too. And the thing is, like, if you actually have the Swissborg Premium, which is 50,000 coins, you don't have any fees associated to it. So it's kind of insane how they're doing it. And the way I see it is that this market, this run, more people are going to come in, right? So more trades, more exchanges. It makes a lot of sense. The other one exchange token that I got into a lot recently is FTX. It's pretty much mooning at this current point. Yet again, Binance and FTX, they're going to be two exchanges to watch. And FTT is a native token of FTX. Anyway, it's crazy. So yeah, both. So I'll classify these as exchange tokens, which I have a lot of exposure to. All right. So we got blockchain discoveries. Is Burger going to explode? Burger Swap. Burger Swap is Burger Swap moving? Ooh, Burger Swap's doing pretty good actually. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, this market is just going insane. But definitely you want to be a lot more careful during this market. Obviously, I'm very, very careful and manage risks appropriately. We got 2 donations. Thank you so much for Sean Red. Thoughts on Oasis? I have an interview with Don. Really, really like what they're doing. It's stuff that people won't understand yet. That's the kind of scariest part about Oasis. They're doing privacy-based smart contract, which is just like out of this world, right? They're doing not just parachains, but paratime. All their elements and the configuration of that blockchain is just out of this world. It's in terms of just design. The way you can think about it is right now, everything on Ethereum is open, right? Which is great. Open finance is amazing, right? You get to see who's investing in what. You get to like kind of pry and figure out what's happening in terms of real fund movements. You get to track the entire ecosystem, figure out how much value is locked in a protocol, and transparently figure out if the balances are legit or not. But with Oasis, it's completely privacy based, right? So you could reveal or could not reveal the information, the openness and transparency, which is very powerful, because if you ever think about the long-term applications of this, is that you need privacy for some certain elements. And in order to do that on Ethereum, it's actually going to be extremely expensive or not viable at this current point. There's talks about ZK snarks being implemented, but from a ground level, Oasis makes sense in the sense of getting from the design perspective, allowing for privacy contracts. But anyways, check that interview out with Don San if you want to ask a question about Oasis. She knows what's up. It's just a matter of Don San box mining. This one. A lot of people didn't. It's privacy. It's a little bit harder to understand, but definitely check out why we need privacy. That was like huge. We also have Pouncing Penguin. Thank you so much. Welcome to Team Crypto. Usam Baloch says base protocol moon again. Any thoughts, man? That was like a huge ride. All these like rebasing coins are just like a huge ride. It can go like this. They can like that. It's crazy, but I still hold some. I rode it all the way up, I rode it all the way down, and yeah, it's pretty insane. Crypto Hunky says, any thoughts on Loopring? Loopring is actually doing a lot for scaling, and we'll visit that in a scaling episode in the future. So I'll definitely want to talk about that as well. Tons of stuff going on. So ZK Snarks, ZK rollups, optimistic rollups, we'll have to do a full episode on that. All right. Okay. So we talked about Binance ecosystem. Let's go for the last bit of news, right? So we got DeFi wars heats up as Curve Finance TVLV hits $4 billion, 3.99. That's almost $4 billion, right? So yeah, these numbers are getting very, very huge. Curve, if you guys know, is a way for to form these very, very large pools. The way I see it is very, very large pools. Every pool is different. Every pool has a big strategy, but you can mix a pool between USDC, USDT, or the 3 pool. Leo was talking very extensively about the 3 pool as well. There's a lot since I last checked, right? So I last checked around there was like 12 pools, but now there's like a lot more. The reason why you want to have these pools is because you allow for more liquidity to be able to transfer. So say, for example, you're a big fund, you want to switch between USDT and USDC, you can use Curve as one of the big places with big liquidity. Also, Curve pools also have the added functionality that some pools can be more aggressive and they can deploy their capital in different ways. And this brings us to the understanding of decentralized finance, right? So one of the issues that decentralized finance is solving right now is where do people put their money, right? A lot of people, they just use to hold cryptocurrencies, and I do that too because you can just hold it on a ledger and that's fine. That's cool, right? Why not? Why shouldn't I hold it on the ledger? But the issue of that is that it doesn't really make me more money, right? If you hold it on a ledger, it's static, right? But the way capital markets work in the real world is that people have deposit in a bank, and then the bank allocates that capital, invests with that, right? So they have like property, mortgages, they loan it out, or they do magic finance stuff with it, and they make more money with it, right? That's how capital markets work. So Bitcoin doesn't really do much of that, but Ethereum, it's very possible to start this whole new decentralized finance revolution, which is why Curve makes sense, why Earn makes sense. These are the kind of top names there. I was talking with Cream about the Iron Bank, basically allowing capital to move between different projects. And this is pretty much the direction of which is going, right? Capital efficiency. Now, obviously, this is still very experimental, and it really just popped in within the last 6 months. So talking about this stuff is just kind of crazy, right? A lot of people are asking me, why do these DeFi contracts always get hacked and stuff? Because they're trying out super experimental things. And a lot of the stuff, one of the big mottos of YEarn or YFI is, or at least with Andre Cronje, who is the creator of that, founder of that, the philosophy is test in prod, right? So you test, you're testing in production, and the reason why that is because a lot of these capital markets, even if you try to test everything and beta test everything, you can't test user behavior, right? User behavior is completely organic. So this is why a lot of these projects, they're coming up with these new ideas. A lot of it is experimental, but if it works, it's going to completely break traditional finance. Like the way these infrastructure works, I think about it, they're exactly kind of replicating the exact financial system right now, but with the added bonus of full transparency. So you know where funds are going and where they're allocated, and you can verify what's happening. And that's something you cannot do with when you give your money to HSBC, like, and that's a bank I like to bash on. But if you give your money to HSBC, who the hell knows what happens with it? I mean, sure, there's regulation, right? Is that money being loaned out to Mexican cartel members to create the new next drug? Who the hell knows, right? It might be, as long as they document it accordingly to international standards. We all know how well that works. Who knows, right? Just Google that up too. HSBC and Mexican cartel, they have a very strong relationship, ironclad partnership going on there. We got LA Paint Protections. Thank you so much for your $5 donation. Thank you so much, Pouncing Penguin, for joining Team Crypto as well. We got questions on Alpha and Binance, Sushi Swap. What do you think? Sphinx 3000 says, what do you think about Enj? Thanks. Enj just exploded. It's also one of my medium bags. I'm kind of increasing my Enj holdings at this current point as well. I feel like NFTs coming into a big play. In fact, I've been doing a lot of investments in that NFT space. If you actually look at the Clubhouse chats, you'll see the top topics are, obviously it's exchange talks. Then you got the Bitcoin Maximus, then you got DeFi, and then you got NFTs, right? So NFTs this year is going to make a huge play as well. Decentralized finance, that is. Decentralized finance and NFTs, it is crazy. Also, Peanut Walters, thank you so much for your donation. Shout out to Angela for the Clubhouse invite. Thanks, Angela. Yeah, we've been trying to get more and more people onto Clubhouse to talk about cryptocurrencies. And I think like Clubhouse, if you guys don't know what it is, it's this app on your iPhone, right? So it's right now currently only on iPhone. Let me see this one. There you go. That's Clubhouse. You just go to chat. Like for example, right now CoinGecko is doing a talk, and people can just go in and talk. And one of the reasons why it's so popular right now is because it feels like a conference. Like you feel like you're listening on someone's chat, and you can raise your hand to speak. And it's like reaching critical mass right now in terms of adoption. And something that's kind of very, very interesting is that the people who adopted early, they're the winners in the space, right? Because they know that there's the opportunity here. So anyways, if you guys haven't gone on Clubhouse, just come on, try to get an invite. Somehow it's invite only at this current point, but just try your best to do your research, try your best to get on. So anyways, cool. Right. So Cryptogram says, I'm in the CoinGecko group right now. Is it good, guys? Is it good, Cryptogram? Koa says, how do I get an invite? We're doing an invite sharing thing on the Box Mining Telegram group, but that group is currently closed if you haven't got on a group yet, and we'll try to open it ASAP. The reason why it's closed is because mostly there was just a lot of spammers, and we just want to increase the quality of the chat. Anyways, long story short. All right, let's conclude most of the news here. So I just brought up a few articles that I thought was quite interesting. Binance quietly drops a multi-million Forbes defamation lawsuit. This is kind of interesting. So what were they arguing about? So Binance believes that Forbes article on the October 29th is false and misleading. So they're saying that Forbes apparently accused that Binance is not complying with applicable laws and that Forbes harmed Binance. So that's an interesting fight out. So yeah, I guess you got to be very careful when you're critical. But at the same time, I think they also made a few very aggressive accusations, and we'll have to see where this goes. But yep, that is happening right now. We got DeFi wars. We got FTX. Oh, this was kind of funny. Blockfolio got hacked yesterday. There were a lot of racist, super racist messages on Blockfolio. And because Blockfolio is owned by FTX, Sam went out to make an apology for everything that's going on. So funds, of course, are safe, but all right, on that note as well, these big news sites can get hacked. Be very paranoid in crypto, guys. One thing that's not mentioned here, I mean, obviously, racial insults. Some people get hurt by it if they're very sensitive. I'm not going to downplay it, but it's not the most harmful thing in crypto, right? If these guys sent out, using Blockfolio, if they sent out links, like fake links to MetaMask or to websites that have rootkits that would exploit your Windows operating system or have big flaws in them, and you accidentally click them, not cool. Like they can siphon all your funds, right? Like, for me, just for me personally, like I don't ever get hurt by anything. There's enough hurtful things said about me on YouTube. Everyone sometimes gets angry. I have the most punchable face, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, if I lose money, that hurts a lot more, right? So something to be very careful, guys, is that every time you click on a link, do think beforehand. Is this a trusted source? Unfortunately, because of the way the modern internet works, a lot of websites can have potential very, very devastating attacks on your browser, which compromises your browser and compromises computer. In many ways, this is why we have either a ledger or a Trezor to safeguard our keys, is because the cryptocurrency keys are kept away from a computer. The way the computers work, regardless of Windows or Mac, is that they're based on very, very complicated architecture, which is much easier to exploit than these dumb devices. Like you can view this as a dumber device, and they have a lot better security procedures on there. So I'm not really even trying to shill it. It's just like at the end of the day, you guys will realize like anyone who's been in this space for longer than a few years, they'll be paranoid AF about everything. Like I'm on like maximum paranoia right now. In fact, anytime someone asks me to send cryptocurrencies, I ask them to verbally say the last 5 digits of the address, just in case that there's a memory hack on my computer which replaces the address, the cryptocurrency address, with another one. This is completely possible. Like a virus can actually change a cryptocurrency address to the hacker's address and display on your screen. And when you send that, you get the wrong address. So that's why I asked for a verbal confirm. So that's a kind of like a level of paranoia that I've developed over time. Just like these like best practices to make sure that you don't send funds to a wrong address or to a hacked address, etc. It's all about being smart. Enigma VSN asks about keyloggers. Yeah, keyloggers are like even worse. That's worse. ZODMV says, how do I become a YouTube member? So YouTube member is a new feature on YouTube. I think it's available in most regions. So if you scroll down, just click join. So if you go on this channel and you click, say, join here, let me just see this one. You can see perks and you can manage membership. So you can not only subscribe, but join as a member to this channel. Depending on region, so in Hong Kong dollars, it's around $25 per month. But yeah, it's negligible, but it does help the channel, and we use that to kind of fund community projects, etc. Michael Liu says, that's not paranoia. It's just best practices. There's also a lot of paranoia as well. Like I'm very, very careful about a few certain things. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much. Michael Liu says, if people are really out to get your crypto, you're not paranoid. There's once, I mean, the worst thing I did once. I'm not telling. I'm still in the middle of sorting this out, but one of my accounts, unfortunately, was hacked. It was just one isolated account. I lost around $4,000 off that. Probably it's worth a lot more at this time because it was $4,000 worth of ETH at that time. So very likely it's probably worth like $20,000 now. But yeah, that was devastating. Like the craziest part of that was that like I just checked it and all my balance was gone. And that was just because of one slip up, like one very, very minor slip up. It was just, and it was a combination of like the way I did postmortem on that, right? Because a lot of people didn't expect that I would have something like this. It was a combination of multiple mistakes that led me to have a compromised account. And when I moved money to that compromised account, it was immediately gone. Like, oh man, it was just like, it was lightning speed. The funds were gone. And I had exchange accounts at that time. And the moment I moved there, it was like a whitelist address, so I had to move funds there. And then the moment I moved funds there, I was trying to fight with the hacker to see who would move out funds faster, and the hacker won. So anyways, yeah, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. It's and I was so scared because when that one account was compromised, I was worried about my entire stack, right? Like I have isolated accounts for different things. That's how I set things up. It's like it's a web of complications. But the good thing is, it's because it's isolated in that one compartment. Sure, anything under there, sure, fine, I lose it. Okay, QQ, I'm not gonna cry about it. But if it affected the entire system, that would be really bad, right? So I was like super paranoid for like a month, just like scanning everything on my computer, all my files. Don't let that ever happen to you guys. Hardware wallets are the way to do it. And that was just like one time, like it was a combination of lazy. It was like a lazy mistake after mistake after mistake that led to that. Yeah, please. Timo says, can you learn us how to join projects like Cake, please? It's a lot of risk. I think like I definitely talk a lot about newer projects. In fact, I was talking about Cake for months. Like just people didn't care. It's like people care after it blows up. But like the way it kind of works right now, it's like I have one project kind of constantly blowing up every day, right? And it only makes sense, right? So I don't know. Get exposure. Anyways, we're Bernard Macaris says we're at 47 minutes, guys. I think that's pretty much it for my preaching. How much I really want to talk about. Talking about Innovation Zone. So we're definitely going to talk about more projects and cover more ground in the next few episodes. I'll definitely cover a lot more about DeFi. This episode was primarily based on Binance Smart Chain. I hope you guys can use it. I'll do a tutorial if you guys want about how to use Binance Smart Chain. I just use it directly with my MetaMask account, so the procedure is pretty much exactly the same. That works very well. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, pretty much here. Also, I would also want to say one thing that is that there's a lot of scammers right now, especially in the comments section. So, the admins and the team, we try aggressively to remove spammers in the chat, especially the fake box minings that's posting up a WhatsApp address and a WhatsApp number do not ever contact anyone with a WhatsApp number down on the comment section. We've been trying to fix that problem, but YouTube is just the worst. Like YouTube just sucks for finding out spam or sorting that out, and it takes like a long time. Like every time we delete a spam message, like 10 appear in this place. So I'll do this warning for you guys right now. Like right now, the number of scammers in this place is absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy. Just be very, very careful. There's no free Bitcoin, okay? There's no free lunch. That was a big model in 2017. It's way more applicable now in 2021. There's no one's ever going to give you free Bitcoin, all right? That's a given. They're going to ask you to either do a trade or just going to scam your money. So be very careful about anyone who offers it. Never trust anyone who puts a number down in the comment section. Whoever can recover your Bitcoin or double your Bitcoin, and contact this number on WhatsApp or Telegram. Absolute scammers, obviously, like right? What else is scam? Like tons, like fake box minings is another scam. Like we got fake people with proper, like the way YouTube and Telegram works is stupid, right? Like someone can create a box mining like account and name it box mining, put my photo on and try to pretend to be people, right? It takes literally 3 seconds, and this scam is appearing everywhere and people are falling for it. That's why they're doing it, right? It's obviously that some people are falling for it. Don't be those victims, please. So I'll end on that note. That's pretty much it. So we'll do more updates. The next update, scheduled one, is going to be on next Friday. So if you guys check the live stream section, I'll put the link up here. That's going to be the time for the next live stream, but I hope to do a few more. I'll try to cut these streams a little bit shorter so it makes a lot more sense for me as well. So the next one is in 47 hours. I'll post this up on the streams chat today, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the market responds, but I'm pretty much excited. So anyways, guys, ETH to the moon right now. I'm definitely very, very excited to see where it's going to go next, especially right now as we're breaking out of the box. And hopefully we're going to explore 2K. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you guys have a great day. Come chat with us sometime in the future as well. I'll love to hear everything that you guys are saying. And with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you very soon. And we got Turkey Dinner Fridays is for non-recurrents. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. See you guys. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin Out of the Box. So just add that onto a playlist and let's just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the Box Mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the Box Mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.